Welcome to the lecture on Mid and High Tech AAC for the Special Education Assistant Diploma Program at Stenberg College. At the end of this session, you should be able to explain why we use voice output, list the features of simple voice output devices, list the features of a single message voice output device, list the features of a single message multi-level device, list the features of a multi-message multi-level device, and provide examples of each. Define a high-tech AAC system, and explain the difference between dedicated and non-dedicated AAC. The overview for this session is: why use voice output, features of mid-tech AAC devices, single message devices, ideas for using single message devices, single message multi-level devices, ideas for using single message multi-level devices, multi-message multi-level devices, high-tech AAC devices, and dedicated versus non-dedicated AAC. Why would we consider using a voice output device rather than just a light text system? Consider this quote from Prentke-Romich Company. Language acquisition is the ultimate goal of AAC, and speech-generating devices, or SGDs, provide children with that opportunity. For most children, the act of acquiring language is easy, seeming to require no real effort on their part. For others, however, acquiring language is extremely difficult and hard work. We, the communication partners, need to look for ways to make learning language motivating and interesting. Introducing voice output, whether mid or high tech, can be very motivating. Why? Because having a voice can allow a child to participate much as their peers do. When they are saying what their peers are saying, they are instantly more included. And when they hit a button to say something, they are instantly more independent. Their peers see this and their opinions change. They see this AAC user as involved, independent, and capable. Voice output provides a means of initiating a communicative interaction. It provides a way to be understood by others, as the language used is common or shared. It also decreases passivity. Having a voice means having an impact on the environment. It allows communication to occur over a distance and to more than one person at a time. It provides opportunities for turn-taking and is similar to how others communicate. Finally, it provides a consistent auditory model. Voice output devices come in many shapes, sizes, and price points and are, basically, portable electronic devices that allow an AAC user to create a message and produce speech. Some are very simple, while others are highly sophisticated. We will cover mid-tech devices first. Mid-tech devices have the following features. They are battery-operated recording devices with a limited recording time for each button, approximately 20 seconds. There are single and multi-level options available. Recording is simple, using your own voice or the voice of a peer. Displays are static, which means there is no movement between messages or levels. And finally, you have to create visuals or overlays to attach to the devices using software programs such as BoardMaker Online, SymbolSticks, LessonPix, and so forth. Single message devices include, but are not limited to, Big Macs, Talking Bricks, GoTalk buttons, and the GoTalk One, all shown on this slide. They typically record up to about 20 seconds of speech. Some, such as the Big Mac, can be used as a switch for toys, appliances, or computers. This allows for speech output during play or activities of daily living. For students who may not be using their hand to activate the device, a switch can be plugged in to allow for activation. This might be the case if, for example, the student uses their head as an access point or a sip and puff switch. Most are lightweight and easy to carry and/or mount, use batteries, and range in price from $40 to under $300. Different messages can be recorded throughout the day by recording over previous messages, and visuals should always be added so that the student knows what is recorded on the button. Some ideas for using a single message device include greetings. You can record "Good morning, how are you?" "See you tomorrow," or the childhood favorite "See you later, alligator." you can record to participate in calendar or circle time. Your student can answer, "What day is it today?" Start the skip counting sequence with 5, 10, 15, or describe the weather. Record the repeated line of a pattern book for story time. For example, in Eric Carley's Brown Bear, you would record, "What do you see?" You can ask a friend to play, or send the device home to tell mom and dad, "I love you." You can also record to participate in games with phrases such as, "Ready or not, here I come," or "My turn." Other mid-tech devices allow for single messages to be recorded in a string or sequence and on different levels, allowing the AAC user to say more or to participate in a turn-taking sequence. There are typically 2 or 3 levels on such devices, with each level having 3 or 4 messages. They can be carried using a strap or mounted to a wheelchair, and, as in the previous example, messages can be recorded over and over again during the day. Remember to add a visual to support comprehension. Some ideas for using multi-level devices include singing the lines to a song, taking part in a play, participating in show and tell, telling knock-knock jokes, giving an announcement at an assembly, taking part in a scripted conversation for greetings, or sharing news. Let's move on to multi-message, multi-level devices. These have a single physical display with a page of symbols and/or words for each level. This page is a paper overlay, which is inserted into the device. Each level of the device would require a separate overlay, and each button on each level would need to be recorded individually to match the symbols or words. If you want to change levels, you would need to change the overlay to match. For example, level 1 of a GoTalk 20 might be programmed for circle time. So you would make sure you were using the level 1 template at circle time. But when it's time for math, you would need to remove the level 1 template, press a button or turn a dial to level 2, and insert the level 2 template. You need to use symbol software to create the overlays and perhaps laminate them for durability. And you have to plan each level very carefully to ensure you have included the necessary language. On this slide, you can see a few different examples of mid-tech, multi-message, multi-level devices. The Super Talker, which goes from 1 button to 2, then 4, then 8 buttons with 8 levels in total. A Tech Talk 8 with 8 levels, and a GoTalk 9 Plus with 9 buttons and 5 levels. There are many more options available as well. On this GoTalk 9, you can see that there is a button to change levels, 9 individual cells on which to record messages, and a pocket for inserting and storing overlays. Most multi-message, multi-level devices have these features, along with similar recording methods and times. Let's look at high-tech AAC devices. When we consider high-tech devices today, we can see how far we have come and how technology has made things more efficient for us. In the past, high-tech systems were less common, while light and mid-tech AAC was more common. If we wanted to add a word to a system, we would have to open the file on a computer, add the word, print the page, laminate it, perhaps add Velcro, and finally insert it into the device or communication book. Nowadays, with a high-tech device, we can simply turn on edit mode and we are able to quickly add new vocabulary on the fly. High-tech AAC devices are complex electronic devices that permit the storage and retrieval of messages. They generally use lighted dynamic displays and synthesized voice output. They can be thoroughly customized, and operating systems can be Windows, Android, or iOS. They can be controlled through direct access, eye gaze, and switch scanning. High-tech AAC devices have several advantages over light and mid-tech systems. To begin with, more vocabulary is available. As a matter of fact, most high-tech AAC devices have very robust vocabularies with thousands of words. High-tech devices give auditory and visual feedback for language learning. Every time the student presses a button, he's getting an auditory model of that word. High-tech devices can be understood in all environments. Unlike sign language, for example, in which there is a limited audience who may understand it, High-tech devices with voice output can be understood by everyone who speaks the language that it's programmed with. High-tech devices allow for less reliance on a communication partner and therefore more independence. POD is a light-tech communication book which requires a communication partner to flip the pages and scan through the rows and columns for the user. But with a high-tech device, the user can navigate through pages independently. High-tech devices allow for communication to occur from a distance. If, for example, a parent is in another room or isn't looking directly at the AAC user, the activated voice can still be heard provided the volume is sufficient. Some high-tech devices allow for computer access and connectivity via social media and email, while others have environmental control options and can be used to turn lights on and off, open and close blinds, or operate the television. High-tech AAC systems can be dedicated or non-dedicated. A dedicated device has been manufactured for the sole purpose of communication, for example, the Tobii Dynabox I-Series, whereas a non-dedicated device has been manufactured for purposes other than communication, for example, an iPad, tablet, or computer with a communication app or software loaded onto it. What are the benefits of non-dedicated AAC systems? One is definitely affordability, as an iPad or tablet with a robust communication app can be significantly lower priced than a dedicated AAC device. A second benefit is appeal, as many students like the cool factor of using an iPad as a communication system. Many non-dedicated devices are very portable. The size and weight of an iPad or tablet is much smaller and lighter than some dedicated AAC systems. And finally, most non-dedicated systems are easily accessible. iPads and tablets can be quickly purchased off the shelf. Many of the dedicated devices must go through a complex application process in order to be approved and, in the US at least, covered by insurance companies. There are ways to set up a non-dedicated device to make communication successful. For starters, you can set guided access, which is a feature on Apple devices that allows you to lock the device to a certain app. A passcode is then necessary to unlock the device. Whenever possible, we prefer that our students have two devices, one for entertainment or leisure and one for communication. And finally, you can use the restrictions feature to restrict access to apps, the internet, YouTube, and so forth to keep the device dedicated to communication as much as possible. In summary, voice output is an important tool for populations with complex communication needs. Voice output devices range from simple to highly sophisticated. Mid-tech AAC devices include single-message multi-level, and multi-message multi-level devices. Mid-tech devices use batteries, have limited recording time, and use visuals or overlays. Mid-tech devices have static displays and are versatile and can be used in many ways throughout the school day. High-tech AAC devices are complex electronic devices with dynamic displays and synthesized voices. They allow for large vocabularies, auditory feedback, and greater independence. Dedicated devices are manufactured solely for the purpose of communication, and non-dedicated devices can be used as communication devices when specialized apps are added, but are manufactured for other purposes.